the end dimension. It is meant to be the crux of a playthrough. Yeah! But more often, it disappoints. This begs the question, why? Why is it almost unanimously considered by the entire community that the end dimension is the most boring and the worst of the kind? In this video, I'll be going over the problems with the end dimension, its properties, and realistic solutions that could be implemented to save the end dimension. To begin with, let's talk about why people go into the end dimension. Most people go in the end dimension to beat the game, to defeat the Ender Dragon. So obviously a large area of discussion will be the Ender Dragon fight. And in my personal opinion, the boss fight is pretty balanced. The first time you beat it, you get some XP in the Dragon Egg, and the next times you unlock more and more end gateways. And I think for the amount of risk you put in, given that it's an easy fight, that's pretty justified. You can compare this to the Wither, which is a harder boss to kill, but gives you a better reward, being the Nether Star. My problem with the end dimension is what comes afterwards. And the thing is, there's basically nothing that comes after the Ender Dragon fight. It's so clear to see that the main focus of the end dimension is the Ender Dragon fight. You can just look at the map of the end dimension. There's literally millions of blocks of void in between the main island and the rest of the end dimension. And realistically, there's only one way to cross the void, being the end gateways. So I think making the Ender Dragon fight less important to the end dimension's identity is very important. Furthermore, the end dimension is just kind of boring. There's nothing to do. You beat the Ender Dragon, you go out, get an Elytra, get some shulker boxes, and that's it. You have no reason to return unless you built an experience farm or something. It's just not like the Nether, which is always going to be useful because it lets you travel quicker from one place to another. Additionally, even when you're in the end dimension and you're past the main island and you're just exploring, it's just the same thing over and over and over again. And there's only one structure that can spawn, there's only two mobs that can spawn, there's only one plant that can spawn, there's only one natural block that can spawn, there's only one biome. All of this is just too little, especially when you're looking at the other dimensions. All of these things just lead to the end dimension feeling more boring than the others and just not giving you a reason to come back. I personally like the end dimension and I want to see this changed. I want to be there more often because I actually like the concept of the end dimension, and that's what we're going to be discussing in the next section. What makes the end dimension the end dimension? And we're going to be talking about its properties. When I say properties, I mean what you think of and what you associate when mentioning the end dimension. So for example, a very large property of the end dimension is teleportation. And the reason it's so important to identify these properties is for the problem-solving part of the video, because it wouldn't make sense for me to suggest adding an ender pig or something. That just doesn't make sense with the idea or the properties of the end dimension. So let's just start by listing some properties. And the first property I think of is obviously teleportation. Endermen teleport, shulkers teleport, you need ender pearls to get in, which teleport you, eating the only fruit there teleports you, and the end gateways teleport you. So yeah, teleportation is a pretty big role in the end dimension. Another property I think of is also levitation. All the islands are levitating above a void, and when a shulker hits you, it makes you levitate. The only colors you'll ever really see in the end are black, purple, and yellowish for the end stone. The end also does a great job at making you feel lonely. When you're in the end, you also feel like you're intruding, like you're on someone else's property, like you don't belong there. All of these things put together create what we know as the end dimension. These are the main properties that I could think of, but if I'm missing any, make sure to leave it down in the comments below. Anyway, now that we identified the main properties, we can move on to the next and final part of the video, the solutions. When thinking of solutions, I prioritized one thing over all the rest. Whether or not I could see it actually being implemented and being a part of vanilla Minecraft. If a solution is too unrealistic or feels too modded, like adding 5 new dragons to the end dimension, even though it might solve the problem, it wouldn't do it in a vanilla way. And that's what I was trying to avoid. Alright, so my first suggestion that I really think could be implemented into the game and I would really love to see is to add more verticality to at least the outer end islands. I think this change makes sense based on the properties we discussed, but I also think it would make it a lot more interesting to travel and traverse these outer end islands when you're also out there. I think it will make the experience much more interesting. This will also allow some new generation. For example, with the end city, I'm thinking that there could be some underground sections where it passes through a levitating block and out on top of it. And I also think there should be more than one biome. And I don't exactly mean to add like ender trees or anything, but more like to change the generation in different areas. A feature I really want to see reworked is the end gateways. The end gateways right now just feel really clunky because it's only one block tall, so you have to use water or something to get into it. And that kind of gives off the feeling of it being a bit unsafe. I mean, every time I use one, I kind of feel like I'm gonna go to the other side and like glitch off the edge of a block or something. Additionally, the cases in which end gateways are actually useful is very limited. I mean, you can go from the main end islands to the outer ones, but that's basically all you can do. So end gateways are useless. But something else that's useless is the dragon egg. So my idea is to kill 3 birds with 1 stone. That being the end gateways being useless, the dragon egg being useless, and also there being a lack of variety in the outer end islands. My idea is to create a teleporter that can teleport you from the main island to the outer end islands, but also be used in other scenarios. This teleporter would be very expensive to craft, but it should also be able to be found in the outer end islands in some new structures that could be like an abandoned end city. These teleporters would replace the end gateways and would also require a dragon egg to craft, which will give you another reason to fight the dragon, which is good because it'll bring players back to the end, as they'll have a new objective. If this change were to happen, the gameplay loop would stay almost the same, being players defeating the ender dragon and then going to the outer end islands to loot the end cities. Except now, instead of using an end gateway, they will use the dragon egg they get to craft a teleporter that would randomly link up to one of the teleporters in an abandoned city in the outer end islands, which will allow a more immediate chance to explore the end, so there will be none of those boring searching periods that you have when searching for an end city. The teleporter makes sense in Minecraft, especially relating to the end dimension, as it uses the property of teleportation. But would I consider it vanilla? Honestly, it depends on the implementation. While I think it would be very hard to make it seem vanilla, I don't think it would be impossible. And it would give the end dimension an extra cup of content that it desperately needs. So yeah, that's my opinion on the end dimension and how to solve its issues.